I was exposed when I was 13. You want to know what a pornography addict looks like? I had a 4.0, grew up in the church, went to church religiously, 3 times on Sunday, 1 time during the week, any kind of big tent, any kind of missions, any kind of potluck, we were there. The theory was if the doors of the church were open, your butt was in the seat. And you needed to be actively vomiting or dying to not go to church. And this is what I was raised up in. I was active in my school. I had a great social life. I was the teacher's pet. I was on the school newspaper. I ran the school newspaper. I was on drama teams. I worked in my church. I served as a vacation Bible school volunteer. I worked in the nursery. I sang in the choir. I went to talent competitions and won. This is what I did, all the while addicted to pornography. Okay, this is what it looks like. It doesn't look like Ted Bundy. It doesn't look like a slut. And that's what we can so often do. We're like, oh, but you is exactly the kind of women that struggle with this. The women who struggle are the pastors' wives, are the Sunday school teachers, are these women. And I walked through my whole life thinking, I can't tell anybody. Oh my goodness, I cannot tell anybody. My mom will die. My pastors, I don't even know about my pastors. Like, that's not going to happen. Pastors' wives, they're 80 years old. They are going to croak. It'll be over. I'm not killing people. That's not my job. So I went all the way through high school. And by the time I was 17 and going off to Christian college to go on to get my medical degree, because I was a total nerd, I was consumed by pornography. It had taken over my life. It had taught me everything I knew about sex. It had taught me everything I knew about how to be a woman. And interestingly enough, I was never sexually active. I never acted out, ever. Because my mom, growing up, sex was bad. Pornography's not sex. It's a perfectly safe alternative to sex. It's not a big deal. There's no STDs, no babies. I don't have to worry about it. It's great. By the time I got to college, 17 years old, it had consumed every part of my life. And I thought, okay, if I can just accomplish this, then I won't need it anymore. If I can just find value in this, in getting a 4.0 in college, or in making friends in college, or in finding a boyfriend. If I can just find something else, then I won't need pornography anymore. And I looked for help, and there was nothing. Everything said men. And I thought, how on earth did I end up being the only woman in the world who likes this stuff? Seriously, how did this happen? And I thought, okay, I have to get caught, but I'm not going to let myself get caught. It's the weirdest. We pray really weird prayers sometimes, like, dear Jesus, please let me get caught, but I'm going to do everything possible to make sure that doesn't happen. So you're going to have to be really, really powerful to make this happen. And I was caught. And they pulled me into the office, and I was into very, very, very dark pornography, very violent towards women, very, very dark, and they were alarmed. And they said, whoever this man is needs a lot of help. Whoever these men are need a lot of help. This is sick. This is twisted. That being said, we know this wasn't you. Women just don't have this problem. And I walked back knowing full well that I was a woman, knowing full well that I had this problem, and being completely confused. But if there's one woman in the world, or one group of women in the world who like pornography, it's got to be the women in pornography, right? You're allowed to be a freak there. You're allowed to like the stuff there. They liked it, don't they? So I was 17 years old, and I threw away all of my dreams of becoming a doctor, all of my desires to be a good student, all of my desires to be a good sister or a good child of God or whatever. I didn't look at God. I prayed. I don't see him. Don't worry. But I looked, and I said, I messed up. I'm too far gone. There is no hope for me. I am some kind of freak. I don't think I'm even human. Because if women don't do this, then what do I do? And it was in that moment that I realized I was getting some kind of sick satisfaction from watching other women get beat up and brutalized. And so I thought, the only thing I can do with my life is become a porn star. 17 years old. Grew up in the church. And I thought, the only thing that I have left, 4.0 student, successful person, the only thing I have left, the only thing I'm worth is to be a porn star and to be in these videos and to be in the industry. And so I started making really bad choices. I am a very logical person. None of my choices in this time period of my life were logical at all. The next man who liked me on a chat room, I gave him everything. Gave him my real name, gave him my phone number, gave him my address, gave him access to our school's intraweb. He had access to every single female college student at that school because of me. And he's asked me for pictures. I was 17 years old, and I sent him pictures. And I hated every last minute of it. You said, Jessica, why did you do it? I didn't think I had a choice. Because the only women who liked porn were the women who were in porn. And I was never going to get out of it. He emailed me back, said, you're beautiful, and I would have done anything for him. I was 17 years old. Those pictures will never go away. I don't remember who it was, but someone was talking about how women are held captive by their photos. I hate the fact that out there right now somebody could be using my pictures. I produced child pornography. I was 17 years old at a Christian college, good church girl, producing child porn. And I hated every moment of it, but I thought that that's all it was worth. Listen to me. Pornography is grooming the next generation of sex trafficking victims. And what's going to be really mind-blowing is there's not going to be a suspect, right? There was no suspect for me. It was somebody who asked me, and I gave it to him. So how do we fix this? What do we do? Because we need to fix this. What's going to happen is we're going to go out and we're going to close down brothels, and we're going to pass laws, and we're going to do all this stuff, and we're going to turn around, and we're going to fix these men, and we're going to finally have them pioneering, and we're going to have them championing for women, and then we're going to turn around and have women who don't want it. We're going to turn around and have women who want the men to act like pimps, who want the men to act like molesters, who want that because they believe that that's what they're supposed to do. There's 3 steps if you're a note taker. 3 steps, and I have like 3 minutes, so let's go. Okay, N-U-E. So for something to be, and I just totally made this up on my own, so like don't take this like a sociologist or anything. N-U-E. We've got to normalize it. It became something normal in my life, right? I did it all the time, and we hear that now, like, oh, it's totally normal, it's totally fine, you're expressing your sexuality, it's not a problem. Totally normal. The next thing that has to happen is the consequences have to be unseen. Okay? Unseen victims, unseen consequences. We don't talk about the damage. We don't talk about the women who are hurt. I never heard any of that. It was totally normal. There weren't any consequences. And then all of a sudden, it becomes an expectation. N-U-E. Every expectation that we have, think about our young men and how we deal with our young men. It was normalized for them. They didn't know the consequences, and now we almost expect that men struggle with pornography. We are almost there with women. How do we fix it? We see them. We see them. That's how we stop this. It's not huge and complicated. You don't need to launch a new initiative. You don't need to develop a new program, start a new, nothing. Just see them. There are so many women who are just looking for someone to say you exist. 20% of women in America struggle with pornography. Every last one of them that has come to me has said one thing: I thought I was alone. How can 20% of women individually all believe they are alone? We're not doing our job. All you have to do is see them. Super easy, and if you've heard me talk before, you know what the answer is. The word and. And I'm so grateful for the men who have presented this week that have included this in their presentations. And. Men and women struggle with pornography. Men and women can be victims of pornography. And, those ruts, all we have to do is connect them. It's that easy. You don't have to revolutionize your ministry and overhaul it. All you have to do is see them. And by seeing them, you acknowledge, I see your struggle, I see your pain, and I'm telling you, you don't have to go this far. This isn't normal. This isn't okay. And we are here to help you. And I want to encourage you, please. If you need help reaching out to women, there is a movement of women coming up through this who are starting ministries for this. And I am here. I've been doing this for 7 years. Crystal Renaud is here with Dirty Girls Ministry. She has been doing this for over 7 years as well. If you need any help wanting to know how to do this, please just come to us, because we do not want to get to the place where we have a generation of girls who are just giving themselves away because they think they're supposed to. And all it takes is just saying, we see you, we know you're there, and we're going to help you.